No, I think women are sold in the music industry in a different way, and it's more about how you present yourself and not just about the music. And we're also set to a much higher standard than men.
I've never been sort of mistreated as a woman compared to my male counterparts, but I do feel like I have to work that much harder just to be sort of at the same level.
We pretty much get asked literally like every interview, oh, what's it like being a woman like in the industry? But I highly doubt men get asked the same thing. We usually describe ourselves as like all girl band, but like I don't really know why we do that. Like if we were all boys, we wouldn't say, oh yeah, we're all male band.
I do my PGCE and I asked all my there were year 8s to draw someone performing, and most of them drew a woman but with a microphone, and like no girls playing instruments.
There's sort of an emphasis on being a singer or a performer as opposed to a musician, or if they are a musician, they're sort of pushed down sort of a feminine instrument route rather than like an electric guitar or drum kit.
You feel nervous to like put yourself out there as a girl, probably because it's, especially when you feel like it's going to be like a massively like, I guess, like male dominated space.
It would change massively if more women were producers and more women were managers and more women were agents, and they like that encouragement will change the way that women as musicians, because there isn't a lack of women in the music industry in terms of musicians at all, and it's just that they don't get picked up as much as men do, because the people that choose, the majority of the people that work in labels are men.
I think a lot of labels don't want to risk putting money into non-male artists as well, because they don't think they're profitable enough unless they are sex symbols.
Men in that industry are really good at making you feel like you're a product to be sold.
The pressure to look a certain way overcomes their talent or whatever, which is such a shame. And there are some incredible women out there who are overlooked because they don't look a certain way.
Someone said to us, oh, I'll only sign you if you will start wearing crop tops with mini skirts. And me and Maddie and Frankie were like, no, like we're not going to do that. We just set ourselves on trying to be musicians.
There's definitely a more pressure for a female to have sort of a pop star image, as opposed to, like, if you're in a band, it's much more appropriate for a male to get away with being sweaty and running around with their shirt off or with a t-shirt, and then a woman, it would be scandalous if a woman was to go ahead and do that.
The whole look on women I would change, rather than it being sexualized, being more taken as a musician than just an object.
I think it is quite daunting to be a young woman looking at the treatment of other women in the media, being like, well, I don't want to end up like this person who's getting slated every day in the media.
Every time a festival releases a lineup and then people are incredibly disappointed, they make their own lineups full of non-male bands to show the variety that there is. I think it's pure laziness. I think it's festival bookers not going out of their way to find artists that are popular and well liked.
I think that the committee members of these festivals have said, we've looked, but we can't get bands of all, there's not many about, but like we know that there are.
Like the bigger BBC North Book are telling us we need to present more females on our shows, try and get the 50-50 split. And he said to me that there's just not enough girls doing it really to get the 50-50 split. But there are. You just don't give us the time of day when it comes to playing the local stages. They just put men on. If you open up those spaces for girls, then you're going to inspire more girls, but no one's doing it.
There needs to be promoters putting on more non-male bands, not just because they need that for their lineup, because a lot of the times you end up being the token women band, which it doesn't feel great.
It's quite sweet because we will play gigs and we'll get dads come up to us and they're saying, oh, I'm trying to get my daughter into playing drums and she needs more people like you to kind of like look up to.
The more women bands there are, the more people will want to start making music, because they can see that and think, oh, if they can do it, I can do it, which is the best way.
I actually like playing with women because it gives you a sense of strength, because we're stronger together
I run an open mic night at one of the local cafes in Cambridge, and again, it's not exclusively for women, but it's trying to get women to come up and play and be with other women. And it's really nice because I've had like little children coming up, like young girls like are 8 or 9 years old, and their dad's brought them up like 3 times now. And the first time they came, it was so lovely because I had like 4 women who came to play, and they weren't just all playing the guitar, like some was doing hip hop, some was playing, and it was great. And these little girls just sat there watching, and it was so lovely. And the next time they came back, they got up and they sang a song. It's just about giving women the platform.
So I used to do gigs with my producer Gabriel, and like even in sound checks and stuff, he'd be asked how I want my mic to sound.
And the sound technician kind of treats you like you don't know as much as if you watch the other boy bands and they'll sound check and they'll be like, oh, can you turn this up? Can you turn that up? And they'll be really fussy. And they'll get on with it. But when it's with us, the sound technician's just really blunt.
We have a friend in Cambridge who's called Chrissy, and she's a sound engineer. The band will turn up and they'll come up to her and they'll say, where's the sound man? And she'll say, well, I'm Chrissy, I'm doing the sound. Oh, you the helper, are you? You're the helper. And it happens every gig. No one comes up to her and says, oh, you're the sound person. Hello. They'll immediately assume she's helping the sound man.
I think in general, I feel less valued as a musician, being a female. And whenever I go to gigs, I feel as though there's a low expectation of us because of our gender. I think people see us, and we're young and we're girls, and they think they're probably not going to be very good. And quite often we'll receive positive feedback afterwards, like, oh, that was so good, I really enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting that. And I think, but why weren't you expecting that? But you did expect it from another band who was performing, and they know that just because of their gender or the way they look, you've judged us.
As soon as they see you, they think, oh, they're not going to be as good of a musician. They don't even use their ears, I don't think. I think they just look at you and just assume you don't know as much as what a man would know.
I think the main problem is the lack of expectation from women, and that there's just no way that we can make good music, because we're not men. It's stupid.
Why does this conversation even need to be a thing?